Okay, good evening, folks. Welcome to our Tuesday night presentation. What we're going to do now is going to go over a phenomenal opportunity that is involved in the global Forex market. So, without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And feel free to, comment any questions you may have down below, guys. If you have any questions, whether you're watching this live or in the replay, please interact with this presentation. If you're watching on YouTube, then again, put any comments, any questions you may have down in the comments, and we will get back to you. If this is being shared with you then by someone else other than myself, then please get back to that person. If this is of interest to you and you want to learn more, that's really critical that you get back to whoever is sharing this presentation with you. We're going to go into the share screen and I will get this presentation underway. Hope you enjoy it, guys, and I'll be back at the end of this. Okay, here we go. So the room is just filling up. We're going to go over the due diligence to get started. And we'll leave it over to Richard, who does a phenomenal presentation. So enjoy this, and we'll see you at the end.
Work for us, which is sort of the core of the business. So a bit of background on people are just jumping in all the time. So if I look a bit distracted, it's simply because of that. Basically, a bit of background on myself. I'm a company director. I've been working as a company director for many years, various companies. My most recent was a company called Deval, which is a pharmaceutical company in the process of developing an anti-inflammatory and autoimmune serum called Ames Pro. I also invest in startup companies. I've done that for many years. I prefer to invest my money myself rather than going through a pension and having third parties do it for me. And I also raise funds for projects as well. We're currently working on projects from anywhere from 20 to 200 million pounds. Everything from state-of-the-art computer systems, pipelines, through to state-of-the-art satellite systems as well. Interestingly, with what's going on around the world, the investors are very much keeping their hands in their pockets right now. So hopefully that will change next year sometime. But it is obviously a sign of what's going on around the world right now that that's happening. I was introduced to CashFX by a good friend of mine. He's someone I've known for a good few years. Very experienced person. He's made millions of dollars over the years in various projects. He's someone that's very analytical in his approach. He's also very much like me. He won't just jump into a project, which is something obviously I appreciate. He is uses his experience to do due diligence on a project before he jumps in. So I knew that when he was asking me to have a look at CashFX, that it would be something that would be of interest, and sure enough, it was. I was very impressed with what I saw, and I joined on the 23rd of July last year, so literally a year from previously. Goodness, people are jumping in all the time now. Since then, I mean, one of the interesting things is the fact the company, being a new company, I've been involved in startup companies over the years, often as the company director of that company. And usually it can be quite challenging because initially you are building infrastructure on a shoestring, because it's often you get the business up and running, then you can get the finance or investment into the project you need to then take it to the next level. CashFX have done it very differently. The owners of the company are very wealthy, and they're investing heavily into the project from day one, and they've partnered up with world-class companies, and that has made the whole process extremely smooth. So it's been unusual to see a company to get everything right from day one. Which is very positive. So we've done a lot of due diligence, as I said, on the project. John in particular went over, met the owners. He spent 3 days with them. I felt kind of sorry for them because John could be quite blunt in his approach and very analytical. So he went through everything with a fine-tooth comb, but he came away very, very impressed. And since then, we've both been working closely with the company. John in particular has been helping them out with their marketing, and a few months ago actually was invited to become the marketing director of the business. So testament to him, because they obviously appreciated what he was doing, and testament to them, the fact that John agreed to do that. So, you know, he's been very impressed with what he's seen. Of course, now he's working with them literally on a daily basis, and has been very, very impressed. So we've been extremely impressed with everything we've seen across the board of the business. I'm going to run through with you now some of the due diligence that we've seen on the project, so you can get a good feel for that too. Let me just bring this up so I can see people coming in. Still coming in. Okay, so first and foremost, the business, the market the company's in is the foreign exchange market, or the Forex market. For those of you that are unfamiliar with this market, is the difference between the currencies around the world. So, for example, you've got the British pound versus the Japanese yen. You're going to get those fluctuations in the price, and if you know what you're doing in this market, you can trade that and make money. There are, in fact, it's a decentralized market, so there are 80, so anyone can trade it, and there are 80 to 90 million private or retail traders in this market. Those are people like you and I that are trading from home, and there are many people in this market making very serious money indeed. So as I said, if you know what you're doing, you can make a lot of money. Now, even though there are 80 to 90 million retail traders in the market, they only make up a small percentage. The market is dominated by the banks and institutions, and they're in this market because of the liquidity. They know that they can trade billions of dollars and make billions of dollars without any issues. Because the market is probably, well, it is not probably, it is by far the most liquid and consolidated market in the world. It's a $5.3 trillion a day on average market. That is vast, $5.3 trillion. You could put all the other markets together, the stock market, commodities market, etc., into a hat, and they still only take up a tiny fraction of this market. And it basically means, this is why the banks and institutions are there, because they know they can trade billions of dollars and make billions of dollars without any issues. And the same thing applies for Cash FX. It gives the company plenty of headroom to grow. There's never going to be an issue where we're going to run out of liquidity in the market, and so the company would hit the bump stop. So that was one of the first tick boxes for us. The fact is, Cash FX can grow very large in this market, and it's not going to be an issue. Now, the second thing, which is extremely important, it's very important when we looked at it, because again, we were looking at longevity, but is now extremely important, is the fact that the market is historically proven to be recession proof. And simply because it doesn't matter what's going on around the world in the markets, you're still going to get those fluctuations between the currencies. And so you can still trade the market as if nothing's going on. Now, obviously, we're all painfully aware of what's going on around the market, around the world right now, with regard to the virus. I think that what we've seen so far is, unfortunately, just the tip of the iceberg. And I know that firsthand because last week, our son was made redundant. Now, it was his first job. He's graduated, and you know, this was his first career job, but he was doing extremely well in that job. And I remember commenting, the fact that he was made redundant, that company must be in quite serious problems, because they spent a lot of money recruiting him and training him and everything else, and he was very good at what he did, and yet they still had to make him redundant. Julie's stepbrother, again, has just been made redundant the same week. Now, people get made redundant all the time, but not two people in the same family in the same week, and that's what we're going to be seeing more and more and more of. Now, if the virus comes back, which it could well do, then we're talking big problems. And we're talking about mass unemployment, companies failing, industries potentially collapsing. I have professional businessmen that are in business with me with Cash FX, people that run various companies, multiple companies. They're selling their companies, they are, you know, letting people go, etc. And so, you know, it's going to be a very challenging time. So to have a business that is making money for people, and that's what Cash FX is all about, as I'm going to show you, you know, you're not buying products or, you know, doing anything like that. You've got a business here that is making money. You're letting the pros traders do the work for you, without having to need anything to know anything about the forex market or do any trading yourself, that is an important thing. Smart money is moving out of the stock market, for example, into things like gold and silver, into cryptocurrencies and the forex market. Someone was saying the other day the market was up at $6.6 trillion a day. So this is quite an important business right now. It's it's a fantastic business model anyway. But the fact is, people are going to be looking for a plan B, and this is a very good model because you're not having to buy stuff to make money at the end of the day. Now, another key feature of this market is the fact that you've got a flexible risk management strategies available. What that means is that the traders can increase the risk when the market is stable or predictable, and they can reduce the risk when the market becomes potentially unpredictable, as it is now, so they can protect the fund. Now, it's also a good way of looking to see whether a company is a good company or good business or a bad one, because unfortunately there are a lot of what I call bad forex companies out there, in that they may be offering high returns, but there are two sides to that coin, and you have to look at the risk that is being carried by that company. And I often see companies with drawdowns as high as 50 to 60%. And if you see that, they're effectively gambling with your money, and it's just a matter of time before they blow the account. And I see that again, unfortunately, a lot of people go into those companies because they think, oh wow, look at the returns they're making. But there's less skill, should we say, in getting high returns if you've got a very high risk. CashFX is doing it properly. They have a drawdown as low as 3%, which is exceptionally low, I have to say. So they're keeping the risk low, and they're still getting those high returns. And that's where the skill is, to be able to keep risk low and still get those high returns. Now, the market, the way the business operates, I guess, in a way, is similar to a bank, in so much that when you deposit your money into a bank account, that money is then taken by the bank. It is pooled, it is traded on various markets, in particular the forex market, for the reasons that I've said, and they basically are leveraging your money to maximize their gains. So in normal parts, they're basically using your money to make money, which is fair enough, and it's a very effective business model. It makes the banks, a serious amount of money. This is why the banks are so wealthy. They're not making their money from the fees and that kind of thing. Well, they are, but it's only a small fraction of what they're making. They're making most of their money from the fact that they're trading your money in areas like the forex market. Now, CashFX, similar in so much as the money is pooled, it is traded. It's traded Monday to Friday, 24 hours a day. But the key difference is every Saturday we receive those trading returns. So as I've said, basically this is a business model where you're letting pros traders do the trading for you, so you are getting your returns every Saturday. That's real money. That's money that you can withdraw. So basically you're letting your money work for you. Of course, I'm going to come back to a bit more detail on that, but that's the basic business premise. Now, another key thing about CashFX, and something that we've seen a lot, is the fact that the company's partnered up with world-class companies, and there is a pattern here of all of those companies publicly strongly recommending CashFX. So these are third-party companies that have nothing to do with CashFX, and they're seeing what CashFX are doing, and they're publicly recommending the company. Now, one of the most important is the broker. Again, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the forex market, you have to go through a broker to trade the forex market. You can't just trade directly, and the broker basically holds the funds. The traders then make the trades. The broker then instigates those trades, money in, money out, wins, losses, etc., electronically. So the broker is in a unique position to see exactly how the trader is performing, how much the money they're trading, how they're trading, because they can see they are actually instigating the trades. And they could see, how well the trader's doing, because of the end results. So that's really important. That's something I'll come back to in a second. So there are brokers and there are brokers out there. And again, another way of spotting a good broker versus or a good business versus a bad business is that looking at the broker, often you see brokers that are unknown entities, often attached to the trading company. If you see that, you must not go there. That is a classic, so it's a significant red flag. That's what I would say. There are brokers out there that are non-regulated, and they could be fine. They choose to go down that route. simply because they can offer, for example, there's greater flexibility, and they can offer, for example, higher risk products. Now, if for those that are not familiar with trading, that might sound like a bad thing, but the reality is it's good, because you can actually trade. If you know what you're doing, you can push the risk a bit higher, and therefore you can make higher returns if you know what you're doing. But the best brokers out there, in my opinion, is a regulated broker, and the broker that CashFX uses is a company called EverFX. They are a European-based broker. They are internationally recognized, multi-award winning, and also multi-regulated. So, for example, they're regulated by CISEC, which is one of the main regulatory bodies for Europe. Also, the Cayman authorities, the Seychelles authorities, and they're currently going through the process of being regulated by the FCA here in the UK. And also the South African authorities. So the reason they're being regulated like that is because it's opening up different markets for them around the world. And their pitch is very simple. We're a regulated company, and as a regulated company, your money's safe with us, which is exactly the case. Now, as a regulated company, they are highly restricted on what they can and cannot do. If you know anything about regulatory companies, you know, they can't just go and recommend any old company. And, you know, as you're going to see, they are strongly recommending CashFX. Now, one thing I would say, sorry, I haven't really sort of covered this, and I should have, is the fact that EverFX are a very serious company. They are multi-award winning. For example, Global Brand Awards, they're voted best new multi-asset broker. International Business Magazine also voted the best online CFD broker. They're also the official global partner of Sevilla Football Club. And if for those of you that are not into your football, Sevilla are one of the top clubs in Europe. They're number 3 in the Spanish league, and I think they're just behind Barcelona and Real Madrid. And as you can see here, you know, there's the EverFX logo on the shorts next to the Nike logo. You've got to be a very serious company to be able to partner up with a football company like that, because it's very expensive. So they obviously EverFX are doing very well. So they're a very serious company, internationally recognized, as I said. And the fact is, they are the broker of CashFX, and they can see exactly what CashFX are doing. People still coming in. They are in a unique position to see exactly, you know, how much we're trading, how well the traders are performing, and how much money they're making. So the fact that the EverFX are on record in multiple occasions strongly recommending CashFX to the public, to their members, etc., is a significant tick box from a due diligence point of view. As I said, you would never get a regulated, well, it's impossible for a regulated company to recommend a company that wasn't doing what they say they were doing. It would be business suicide to do that. There's probably even legal ramifications as well, because if you are regulated by authority, they watch everything you do. So there is no way they would recommend CashFX if they were not doing exactly what they say they're doing. And it means that they are extremely confident CashFX, not only what they've done to this point, but also moving forward, because they've put their name to the company. So that is a huge tick box as far as due diligence goes. And it means that, you know, everything that CashFX is doing is exactly what they say they're doing. And that's really important, because I could show you a business today that can make you $1 million a day, but if the money's not real that's coming into the business, that doesn't mean anything. I certainly wouldn't be involved in the business if that was the case. So once you've got a company like this, as a professional business person, that is a significant tick box, and which is one of the reasons why I'm very happy to be sitting here sharing this with you. Because if a regulated company is happy to put their name to CashFX, then so am I. Now, the owners behind the company are extremely successful, which is an important thing if you're looking at any project. Blasco Lopez is one of the founders, very successful businessman. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He's got huge property holdings. He's got huge land holdings at key locations. He has significant manufacturing facilities with government contracts. He's also got a very large Bitcoin holding. In fact, it's huge. He sold some of it back in 2017, just before the crash. So he obviously knows what he's doing, for $90 million. So a very successful individual. He is based in the US, which was something that was important to us as well from a due diligence point of view. Very accessible, very visible. He's working with us on a daily basis. John in particular, as the marketing director, works with him every day. We've been, as professional business people, very impressed with how he's running the company and his vision and what he's planning ahead. And key thing, he's investing millions of dollars of his own money into the project, everything from the new headquarters, the payment processor, the academy program, the legal teams they've got working with the company, and also the other companies that they're partnered with. So they're investing. He's not throwing his money around. He runs a very tight ship, but he's investing significantly. And as I've already mentioned, it's these partners that are helping the company achieve excellent results so quickly. Edwin Abad is the other owner, and in fact, I didn't mention this. There is actually a video that you can watch. If the person that introduced you, maybe they can get hold of it for you. It's just an 8-minute video of the COO from EverFX, one of the senior board directors of the company, talking about his background. Very successful, very experienced guy. Talks about why the company is being multi-regulated. He also talks about CashFX in the video and the relationship they have with them. And as you'll see, he really doesn't pull any punches. He strongly recommends CashFX. He talks about the fact that they're making magic in the market. He talks about the way they trade. It makes the market come to them. He also talks about Edwin here as a world-class trader. And remember, these are guys that can see thousands of traders. So this is very high praise indeed. He talks about the fact that Edwin trades without emotion, etc. So if you watch the video, you'll see he doesn't pull any punches. It's a very strong recommendation. And remember, that is a regulated company giving you that recommendation. So it really doesn't get better than that. So Edwin, world-class trader. He's also a very experienced engineer. He ran a very successful engineering company in the US, and he's combining that prowess as an engineer with the trading, which is important with regard to the systems and they're using for the trading, which is very important not only for short-term gains, but also long-term sustainability. Just some stats on the company: 26,000 active members around the world. It hasn't even started yet. We're very early days. 180 countries, 100,000 successful payouts. One thing I would say on that, I've been with the company 12 months. I've made, 30 plus withdrawals, and very significant money withdrawn, but no issues at all. Same thing for my business partners and the members of the business across the board. It's worked perfectly. They're going through a very reputable third-party payment processor at the moment, but again, that's not good enough for the company. They're bringing it in-house at great expense with their own payment processor. Again, why? It's because they want to make sure there's nothing that could potentially go wrong in the future. A third-party company could fail, for example. So by bringing it in-house, that's protecting the business. Even though it's working perfectly, they still want to protect the business. The technology they're using, same thing. It's brought, instead of being a bought off-the-shelf item, it's been in-house developed. Again, remember, Edwin is an engineer by trade. Some of the people behind the company, John Kinnear, as I've already mentioned, is the marketing director, which is great. So you get that insight into the company on a daily basis. And these are the traders and engineers. Now, these guys are crucial to the whole business. They're the engine room. We couldn't have a business like this without these guys. They're extremely important. They are all highly experienced traders. John Wilson here on the bottom left here is the lead trader. John Lurstop on the bottom right here, he is the engineer on the project, and he has an extremely important role to play. He works with Edwin, and they are the guys that are developing, constantly honing and tweaking and optimizing the EA, or expert advisor system they use, which is an algorithm-based operation. And they're also developing AI technology as well for future reference. Now, why use EA? Well, you've got to remember the market's traded 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Human beings need to sleep. So a machine can continue to trade whilst a human being is asleep. A machine never has a bad day. A machine, doesn't matter whether it's trading $5 or $5 billion, it keeps that that level playing field, which is so important. It doesn't get emotionally involved in the trading process. It can also make many, many more trades than a human being can. And so, for example, one of the techniques used is a technique called scalping, where the machine will make thousands of trades very fast, in, out. So it's just taking that little profit off the top, hence the name scalping, which is a very effective way of keeping the risk low whilst maintaining the high returns. Now, the key difference, because there are companies out there that have EA systems, and there are companies out there that have traders, but it's the combination of the two that's so important here, because the machine is a fixed entity, and if the markets change, then it can become less effective or even not effective at all. So what these guys do is they're constantly monitoring the market and seeing what's going on, and then John and Edwin are constantly honing and tweaking the EA system to make sure that it's optimized, getting the best returns ongoing, long term. Currently, for example, the system is offline. These guys are manually trading. They're still getting world-class returns, but a lot less than they would with the machine, simply because the machine can make more trades. So they've used when the virus came in, they decided to switch it off because obviously there was potential unpredictability in the market, and they also wanted to upgrade the system, so they saw that as a good opportunity to do so. It has now been upgraded and is currently being live tested, and hopefully it's going to be going live very soon. And when it does, we're going to see a significant jump up in the trading returns. But nevertheless, I've been with the company 12 months, and the returns that these guys have been getting is between 5 and 13% a week. 5 to 13% a week. Think about that. Where else are you going to get those kinds of returns? Someone sent me an advert for NatWest the other day where they're talking about an ISA that is going to give you 0.2% a year. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I saw that, but that was a serious advert. So 0.2% a year, whereas we're talking about 5 to 13% a week with these guys. So depending on trading returns, you're looking at world-class returns here. Remember, those returns are real. You wouldn't get a multi-regulated company like EverFX recommending the company if they weren't. And that is the engine that powers the whole progress. So these are the guys that do the work for you. These are the guys that are doing the trading and making money without you needing to know the first thing about the Forex market or doing any trading yourselves. So very important. A couple of final bits on the due diligence. The technology consultant behind the company, again, this is another really good indicator. You know, when you've got a company that is taking on a company like the Conversion Pros, so these guys are the technology consultant for CashFX. They do all the infrastructure of the company. These guys are based in the US, and they are internationally recognized, considered one of the best companies out there at what they do. They work with Fortune 500 companies and many big companies around the world. And so when you see a company like this behind a project, then you know the owners are spending a lot of money, because the best is never the cheap option. And as I've already mentioned, you know, the first 12 months with this company, it's a startup company, have been remarkable, and it's testament to guys like these that are doing everything in the back office. They're extremely experienced, and they're doing a fantastic job. Now, as I said, fantastic to have them behind the company. Normally, you wouldn't even know they were there. They'd just be perhaps a little name at the bottom of the page saying powered by the Conversion Pros. But as you can see here, we've got a full page spread. Why? It's simply because Ron Pope, who's the co-founder, president, CEO of the company, very, very experienced, very reputable business person, has you know, he's been in the industry, you know, in business for a long time. He's seen many companies over the years. He's never been interested in joining them, but with CashFX, he's been so impressed with what he's seen that he's actually joined the business, and he's actually recommending the business to other people, you know, his customers and everything else, which again is a huge tick box, because, you know, this is someone that has got a lot to lose, US-based individual. So, and he sees everything because he is the infrastructure behind the company. So the fact that you know, he's strongly recommending the company is another third party that is recommending this company. So huge tick box. And finally, by no means least, is the headquarters. You know, most of these online companies don't even have a headquarters. If they do, 99 times out of 100, it's just a leased office. Often they sort of sell the fact that they've got a headquarters, but they don't. If it's a leased office, it's just a toe in the water, and a toe in the water can be very quickly withdrawn. So in the perfect world, you are looking for a company that is a bricks and mortar operation, i.e. they have purchased their own office, and that's exactly what you've got here with CashFX. They've purchased outright the whole of the 9th floor, which is a 10,000 square foot office of the RBS Tower, which, yes, that's the Royal Bank of Scotland Tower, which is one of the most prestigious buildings in the business district of Panama. Why Panama? Well, there are very, very good banking facilities there. A lot of headquarters are situated here, hence why RBS is there. They're also very good tax incentives to be there, and also CashFX has a unique relationship with the Panamanian government, which puts them in a very strong position, so it's a no-brainer for them to set up the headquarters there. So they've purchased the floor for $1.2 million, which is a serious investment, and they've spent another $1 million on refurbishing it under Carolina Ventura here, is the architect on the project, and the offices are complete, but unfortunately they're not open because of the virus. They haven't been able to put the furniture in or anything else because of lockdown. Vasco was showing us a video the other day of a warehouse full of the furniture, which is a real shame. But once the lockdown is eased and they can actually move the furniture in and get the offices open, it is going to be a state-of-the-art office. It's going to have it's going to have the most advanced trading floor in the whole of the southern hemisphere, which is quite a statement. But again, typical of Wasgar, they're not playing at this. They want this to be, not a good company. They want it to be the best. And it's going to have an open door policy as well. So everyone on this call, if they wanted to, could visit the offices, be shown around and see firsthand what the guys are doing, even use the boardroom, etc. So this is a $2.2 million headquarters. Understand that is not a toe in the water. That is a very serious commitment. It's a commitment by a company that is expecting to be around long term. So just a very quick recap, this company stacks up. If I'm looking at any project, I look at the due diligence on it, and it really doesn't get better than that. There are no red flags with CashFX. Everything they're doing is above board. We've been working closely with the guys. We're seeing what they're doing. We know what's coming. They've got some fantastic things they're going to be launching. And to have third-party companies, even regulated companies, that can see firsthand what they're doing, are strongly recommending them. It doesn't really get much better than that, and that is the foundation for everything I'm going to show you now, basically how we make money from the project. So one of the key things, of course, the fact that you've got all that due diligence, the fact that you can start CashFX for $300. It's a one-time purchase. There's no upfront fees, no monthly fees. Again, unlike many companies out there on the market, there are monthly fees, that kind of thing. CashFX doesn't do that. You can start for as little $300 one time. That's it, and start making money immediately from the project. And I just sort of say to you, think about that. How many businesses out there can you start for $300? I've actually been saying on my recent presentations, think about that. You could start up as a window cleaner. It would probably cost more than that. I've actually got a window cleaner partnered up with me in the project. He was saying to me that it cost him $3,000 for the equipment, another $8,000 for the van, and it took him 5 years to build up his customer base before he started taking out serious money from his business. So think about that. With CashFX, you can start for $300 one time, and you're making money straight away. So you buy what's called a trade pack with CashFX. As I said, you can start for as little as $300. It goes all the way up to a 100K pack. We have people from all walks of life working in the project, people that have never had any business experience before, business professionals, multimillionaires, just all walks of life, and people come in at every single level. We have many people coming into the 100K packs. Obviously, people that come in at that level do a lot of due diligence on the project. They're very happy with what they're seeing. But one thing I would say, and certainly for you, those of you that have never been in business before, if you're a business professional, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's really important to understand that there is no such thing as a guaranteed business. Okay, so the due diligence on CashFX stacks up beautifully. But there's still no guarantee. Same thing with the trading. The trading results these guys have been getting world class. I've been with the company for 12 months. I've seen what they've been doing firsthand. Fantastic. That's money that I've been withdrawing, remember. They've been trading superbly before then. They keep the risk down to a minimum 3% drawdown. And yet, no guarantees. Past results are a great predictor of the future, but they're not a guarantee. Same thing, trading is risky. It doesn't matter how much they reduce the risk, there's always a risk there. So the important thing is this: if you're coming to this, particularly if you've never done a business before, always come in with your sensible hat on. Don't bet the farm, don't remortgage your house, don't borrow money. Start off at a level that you can afford, and particularly start off at a level that you feel comfortable with. I think that's a great word to use, comfortable. If you're comfortable with it, then you're going to really enjoy the experience. But just be sensible. Whether that's $300 or 100K, as I said, we get people coming in at every level, but just make sure that is a level you can afford and you're comfortable with that. And as I said, if you do that, then you're going to really enjoy the experience. So let's explain how a trade pack works. So as I said, $300 is the smallest trade pack you can buy, right the way up to the 100K pack. And each pack is split down into two. 30% goes towards the Academy pack, which I'll explain what that is in a second. The remaining 70% goes towards the trade pool. That money is then traded Monday through Friday by the traders. And every Saturday, we receive those trading returns into our available account. That is money that we can withdraw. Now, I'll come back and just cover that a little bit more on that in a second, but just want to explain what the Academy pack is. So, by the way, just I must reiterate, so that's what the pro traders do. So you don't need to know anything about the Forex market. You don't need to do any trading yourself. The pros are doing the work for you, making the money, and you receive those trading returns every Saturday. Now, the Academy pack is a very important part of the company. The company is actually listed as a training company. And when Waskar set up the company, he wanted two sides: a business that makes money for people, and also a business that enables people to learn how to make money in the Forex market. So now this may not be of no appeal to you. It's optional, but there'll be lots and lots of people that can cash FX, particularly at the moment, that might be at a crossroads in their lives. They've lost their job, they lost their business, or they don't want to go back to their job or business and would love to learn a new skill. And why not learn how to be a Forex trader? Because you can work that from home, which particularly right now is important with regard to what's going on around the world. And join the 80 to 90 million retail traders out there, but get an education in this market that is going to be world class. The CFX Academy is currently under development. It's about to be launched. It's the next, either this month or next month. The company's spending an absolute fortune on it, and it is, as I said, going to be a world class program. It's actually going to be government accredited. I think it's going to be the first product of this type that's going to be government accredited, and you'll be able to learn from the very basics of Forex right the way through to the Supreme Series, where you're going to be taught advanced trading techniques and also the psychology of professional trading, which is really important. If you see people lose money in the Forex market, I can guarantee you 9 times out of 10 it's because they became emotionally involved in the process. That's the thing about trading. It's all very well trading $5 or doing a practice trade, but once you start trading real money, what often happens is people become emotionally involved. And if you do that, what happens, that means you can change the way you trade, and that can get you into trouble. So that's going to be a really important part of the training program. So this is a world-class program, so you'll be able to become a good trader, a really good trader, if you continue to practice, where you can make money from the Forex market completely independently of cash FX. And I think a lot of people are going to take up this program as soon as it's launched. So it's going to be, I can't wait till that goes live. So that's the Academy pack. So the 30% goes towards that. The remaining 70% then is traded Monday through Friday. You're receiving your trading returns every Saturday. But what happens is a pack will complete once it gets to 2 times its value. So from the trading. So if you're trading a $300 pack, once it gets to $600, it will complete. If you're trading a 100K pack, it'll get to $200,000, and that pack will complete. What you do from there is completely up to you, because that's your money. It's in your bank account. Remember, you've been withdrawing it, so you can take your money and run. You can come back in and buy another pack and just repeat the process, taking your profits along the way, or you can upgrade to the next level up. Now, obviously, if you're on a 100K pack, you can't do that because that's the top pack. So you just have to keep repeating the process. But if you're looking at say a $300 pack, for example, the company enables you to upgrade to the next level up by just paying the difference. So the way it works is this. if you are on a $300 pack, for example, your pack is nearing completion, so it's $580 or something. You can withdraw your money, or have been withdrawing your money. You can keep your profit, and you can use some of that profit to then upgrade to the next level up. You have to do it, by the way, before this pack completes, and then you can upgrade to the next level up by just paying the difference between the $300 and the $500 pack, which is $200. So you're not paying $500, you're just paying $200. So you're keeping your profits and using some of them to upgrade. Now, why do you want to upgrade? Well, now you're trading more money. Instead of $210, you're trading $350, so you're making more money from the process. Same thing to the 1K, same thing to 2K. So the reason the company does it that way is because it enables members to upgrade and upgrade and upgrade and upgrade without putting any more money into the project out of their pocket. So whatever level you start up with, you can then work your way up to the higher packs, using the profits you're making from the trading. And this makes this really powerful. Sure, there's going to be people coming in at much higher levels than this, that, the other, but this opens the opportunity to absolutely everyone to come in, even at a small level, as low as $300, which, as I said, is a very small amount to start with, and then you can work your way up through the process. Now, when I joined CashFX, I started with a $300 pack. I could have come in with a much higher pack, but because I'm an experienced business builder in this industry, I thought I wanted to see what happened if I started off at $300 and how quickly I could grow that to a 100K pack. And I managed to do that in just 8 months. Now, again, I must stress, that's not the norm. I'm an experienced business builder. I'm sure there are people that will do it faster than me, but most people will take longer. But even as a passive member, you can still work your way up to the 100K pack in time. And the reason you want to do that is very simple, because I started off on $300, so my account was trading $210. The traders were trading for that for me on my behalf. I've worked my way up now, upgrade and upgrade and upgrade to the 100K pack, using the profits from the business, not from my pocket. And I'm now on a 100K pack, which is trading $70,000. So you can imagine 5 to 13% on that every week is life-changing money for most people. And that's the power of this. People can start off small and work up to very, very serious incomes coming in on a weekly basis, letting the pro traders do the work for you. So this is a world-class product. You've got tremendous flexibility. You don't have to go up to the 100K. I mean, you can stop at, say, a 3K pack, let that complete, take your profits, and just do it again. Then you might decide you want to upgrade again. So you've got that flexibility with this and how you want to work it. By the way, just one thing that people often ask me is, how long does the pack take to complete? And one of the answers that we looked for, and we're very pleased when we got, a pack will take as long as it takes. So important to see that, because if we'd seen anything like fixed percentage returns, pack is going to give you this much return every week, or a pack's going to take 2 months to complete, a fixed term, or worse still, compounding. If we'd seen any of those three things, then we wouldn't have come into CashFX, because unfortunately that's good old-fashioned money game. Looks fabulous on paper to the uninitiated. Start off with a small amount of money, you're a millionaire by Wednesday, but the reality is you're never going to get that in reality, and because if you sit down and do the maths, it's not sustainable. That's why none of those companies that offer those features are around today. The way CashFX works, if the traders are doing well, the pack speeds up. If the traders are doing less well, the pack slows down. So it always matches what the traders are doing, and that's so important, because it means that CashFX are only paying out the money that's coming in from the trading, no more, no less. So it means that that is a totally sustainable business model long term. Now, as far as timeframes go, well, if you're making 5 to 13%, then yeah, of course your money is going quickly. Where else are you going to get 5 to 13% a week? And as I must reiterate that, those are real returns. That you wouldn't get a world-class regulated broker confirming that, and certainly you wouldn't be able to withdraw the money like we've been able to withdraw every single week, like clockwork. We can withdraw our trading returns. So this is a world-class opportunity, guys. It's an opportunity for you to start off small. You can build up, or if you've got the money, and as I said, you can afford it, you can come in at a higher pack and make very serious money from letting the pro traders do the work for you. So that's the core to this. Now, there is another way that we can make money with CashFX. Now, this may be of no interest to you, But there is a referral program attached to Cash FX. So just like there are referral programs to companies like Amazon, Virgin, etc., the Cash FX will enable you to make money if you decide you'd like to refer people. Now, as I said, you may not want to do that. If you don't, by all means, finish with the call now. Just get back to the person that asked you to come on the call and get your questions answered. And as I said, if you decide to join, make sure you start off at a sensible level and you'll enjoy the experience. However, one thing I would say, even if you don't have that interest, one thing I would say is I would recommend you stay on and just watch this bit, simply because what I've seen again and again is people come into Cash FX, they're in the business for a while, they have no intention of referring other people. Of course, you don't have to. That's the beauty of Cash FX. You can make very serious money, as I've shown you, letting the pros do the work for you. But it's one of those things that once you've seen how it's working, you're making money and you're withdrawing your money, etc., etc., it's actually quite difficult, I think, to not refer people, because it's like anything. It's a natural referral. If you've got something that you really like and it's working for you, it's very easy just to sort of say, you know, just tell friends, business acquaintances, listen, I've got this. No different from saying if you refer a mobile phone, you know, I like my iPhone, so I might say use that. Whether you buy it or not doesn't matter. It's just a natural referral. And what is a referral in Cash FX? It's only inviting people to come along to an overview like this. As I said, you know, there's no hype, no rah-rah. It's just an overview. If they like it, great. If they don't, doesn't matter. It's just one of those things. It's up to the individual whether they want to join the business or not. But that's what we see again and again. People join, they have no intention of referring people, and then they actually automatically start referring people. And as I'm going to show you now, if you decide to do that, you can make a serious amount of money with Cash FX in addition to what you're making from the trading already. So as I said, if you want to leave now, by all means, thanks very much for coming on the call. But if you'd like to stay on, then let me show you how this works. So basically, this instance, in this example, we're talking about a 1K pack. If you buy a 1K package, either upgrade to or buy it outright, 70% is taken towards the trading account, 30% is taken towards the Academy pack, as I've already explained. The 70% is then traded Monday through Friday. You get the pack will complete once it gets to 2 times. So 1K pack will complete at $2,000. So you're not getting 2 times the 700. You're getting 2 times the original purchase price, $2,000. That's your money. It's in your account. Up to you what you do with that. Now, the 30%, 100% of that is paid out to the referrers in the business. Now, 50% goes to what's called a fast start. The other 50% goes to something called a unilevel. Now, what I would say is, if you're wondering where does Cash FX make their money, they make their money by putting their money where their mouth is. They make their money from the trading. So they give us a trading return. They also take a percentage off the top for themselves. Now, that's again, a very key thing here, because people often say, well, why do they need us? Why don't they just go and do it themselves? It's simply because, of course, we're building up a very big fund for them, and they're taking that little percentage from the trading off the top. So that's really powerful. They're making a lot of money. They really need us to do that. At the same time, this is why they're happy to pay out 100% from the Academy program. Another point to note is we don't receive any money from the trading account at all. We only get paid from the Academy program, which is important. So let me explain how this works. One thing I would say just regarding the business, it's important you set an expectation. I often see people come into a business like this expecting to earn a lot of money, because there are people making a lot of money in Cash FX, but it takes effort. Like any business out there in the world, it's no different in that respect. If you want to make a lot of money, it involves effort. So obviously just set the expectation. If you want to make a lot of money, it does involve effort. So if you look at the top income earners in Cash FX, I've got people from all walks of life, grandmothers, I've got young people, people with business experience, people with no business experience, making very serious money with Cash FX. But the one thing they have in common, they're all working hard. So just bear that in mind. If you want to make a lot of money with Cash FX, then set the expectation that it will take some effort. So let's explain how the fast start works. And I'll use myself as the example. So when I joined Cash FX, remember, I joined at $300. So John, my enroller, he invited me to an overview like this. I liked what I saw. I asked him some questions, and then I joined the business. I only started off with $300. That 30% was taken for the Academy program, 50% went to what's called the unilevel, the other 50%, which is the fast start, that was paid to John as my enroller. So he received $45. That's what the 50% equates to. Not a lot of money. People still coming in the room. Not a lot of money, but the fact is John has been paid again and again and again. So how does that work? Because most businesses, as I said, charge a monthly fee. CashFX doesn't. By the way, the fact that the company doesn't charge a monthly fee means we've got an exceptionally high retention rate. I have no idea what the stats are, but it must be well over 95%, because why would someone leave a business when they're making money? That's the great thing. When you refer someone to CashFX, you know they're going to make money because, as I said, the pro traders are doing the work for them. So basically, but how did it work for me? How did I manage to get John a fast start? Simply because I'm making money from the business. I joined. I paid my $300. The pro traders then went to work, did their stuff, and I was starting to get my trading returns, which means I can upgrade to the next level up. And when I did that, John received another fast start. So that's a key difference. I'm not paying a monthly fee to pay John. I'm making money from the business. And by doing so, when I upgraded, I withdrew my money, came back and purchased a pack, another pack, an upgraded pack. John then received another fast start because of that. And that continued to happen again and again. And when I upgraded to the 100K pack, John received $7,500. Just think about that. He introduced me one time to an overview. I joined with just $300. He's now getting paid $7,500. Now that I'm on the 100K pack, that pack will complete like all the packs do at 2 times, so $200,000, which happened just the other day. It completed. I've taken out a $100,000 profit, and I came back in and I purchased another 100K pack with the remaining 100K. Why did I do that? It's because I wanted to continue making money from the business. And when I did that, that 50% fast start was $15,000. So John received $15,000. And my pack is going to complete again. And when it completes, I'm going to withdraw my money again. I'm going to come back in and purchase another 100K pack to repeat the process. And every time I do that, John is going to receive $15,000 again and again and again. So think about that. How many people would you like to refer to CashFX? You introduce one, and they get to the 100K pack. That's $15,000 every time that person renews the pack. You introduce 10. That's $150,000. Think about that. How many businesses do you know out there where you can refer 10 customers to a project that can earn you $150,000 every time they renew that pack? I can't think of any. This fast start alone, I could stop here. That's it. Thanks, guys, for coming on. Wow, this is one of the best things I've ever seen. Not it is the best thing I've ever seen out there. Because remember, no upfront, no monthly fees. Everyone's making money. Because people are making money from the trading, that then fuels the fact that they can upgrade, which then pays you again and again and again. So it's a real win-win situation. And finally, just remember there's another 50% goes to what's called a unilevel, which is a technical term for something that really isn't technical at all. In most referral programs, you only get paid on the people that you introduce, which is fine. And as I've shown you with the fast start with CashFX, that pays you a serious amount of money. But the fact is, if people start referring other people, which many do, as I've already said once, particularly once they've been in the business for a while and seen it working for them firsthand, you then pick up commissions there as well. So, for example, when I joined on level John's level 1 because he introduced me, so I'm the first level. Not only did he receive the fast start, but he also received his 10% bonus. Wasn't much when I started, only $4.50, but now that I'm on the 100K pack, he's now receiving an additional $1,500 again and again and again. So when I introduce Fred, we introduce Steve, we introduce Jane, he's going to pick up that 10% again and again. Maybe small initially, but they could come in at a higher pack. But even if they start at a $300 pack, they will upgrade and upgrade and upgrade. And when they're on the 100K pack, you're looking at $1,500 again. You can have 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people in these 4 levels. You then advance to executive, which is the first position in the rewards plan, and it takes effort. But I've got over 200 people in my organization at this level, so it is very achievable if you put in the effort. And you're now picking up 20% on levels 5 and 6. That's $3,000 every time someone renews a 100K pack at those sort of levels. So you could imagine the income potential here. I haven't mentioned it, but I've got a 68-year-old grandmother in my organization. She's never done anything like this before. She's just been putting posts on Facebook and that kind of thing. She's now introduced 45 people. So I showed you what you can earn from 10 people. You can imagine what she's going to be earning, once the people in her organization get up to the 100K pack. Very life-changing money for her. She's also got a team now of 400 people. She's an executive. So you could imagine the sort of money she's making from the business. Again, she takes it seriously. She's working hard. She's working hard now to go towards manager. And if you do that, you pick up additional levels and so on and so forth. So this, as I said, is a world-class referral program, referring something that you would probably refer to your friends, family, and business acquaintances anyway. And again, what is a referral? Just inviting people to come on an overview like this. Now, there are other ways that we get paid, but I'm sure I've already bombarded you with too much information, particularly if this is the first time that you've actually looked at the business. So if you want to find out about the Force Matrix, get back to the person that introduced you. Again, one thing I would say just about that, even if you are a passive member, the Force Matrix, the name Force means it just fills up automatically. So if you're in an active team, even as a passive member, members will be positioned underneath you, and you'll start picking up team bonuses, or the matrix bonuses it's called, even if you're not doing anything with the team building yourself. So that's a fantastic part of the plan. So people still coming in. So that concludes the overview, guys. I hope you found that helpful. As I said, a lot of information, so do get back to the person that introduced you to get your questions answered. So just as a recap, we've got a business here that you can start for $300. You can't even start as a window cleaner for that kind of money. You'll be making money straight away, letting the pros do the work for you. You've got the option to become a trader yourself as well by plugging yourself into the Academy program. You've got a rewards plan that is the best I've ever seen in 20 years. Just a simple referral program that can really grow from there. Even if people come in with small money without any fees, remember, we have a very high retention rate. So what you build, you'll keep. And those people will then continue to grow their businesses, their income from the trading, and you'll see your income go up and up and up alongside. You then combine that with the due diligence. Every single aspect of the business ties up. You've got world-class third-party, even regulated companies strongly recommending this business. So again, I step back and say, guys, where else can you start a business for $300 that gives you all those features? It is the best thing I've ever seen in 20 years in the industry. So anyway, I hope you found that helpful. Get back to the person that introduced you, get your questions answered. And then if you decide to join CashFX, then congratulations and welcome to the team. And just remember, come in at a sensible level, level that you feel comfortable with. And if you do that, then you'll really enjoy the experience. So thanks very much for listening in. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care.
Okay, there we go. So hopefully you enjoyed that, folks. Let me just stop sharing screen. There we go. Hopefully you enjoyed that presentation this evening. Richard, as you've probably seen, has just done a phenomenal presentation. Hopefully all your questions have been answered. And just to touch on that point that he made at the end there about the window cleaners. Now, I'm actually a window cleaner by day. It took me over 5 years to build my business. Okay, 5 years of hard, continuous graft to build up a business that was a full-time round for me. I spent an awful lot of money as well, not only buying the equipment, but buying the van. So, when Richard talks about the fact that you can get started in this business for as little as $300, and over the course of a year or 2 years, you can grow it to quite a phenomenal income. It really is something that I can attest to. I joined on the 15th of February, 2020, and today the date is the 21st of July. I'm currently sitting on a 10K package, so I've got over $7,000 being traded for me, and all I've done is I jumped in with that $300 initial package just to test the water, to see that it works for myself. Once I saw it working, that grew my belief. I then purchased another package. I went up to the 500, up to the 1K package. I started sharing it with some friends because, like Richard says, this has been such a superb journey so far. It's been such an easy thing to share with people because everybody is making money. Okay, nobody gets left behind. Okay, whether you choose to share it and grow a business is entirely up to you. Okay, so with that being said, I hope you've enjoyed the presentation. Feel free to drop any questions you may have in the comments down below. If you're watching this in the replay, we will get back to you and answer those questions. Again, if you're on YouTube and watching this and you have any questions, feel free to get into the comments. Alternatively, if this is being shared by somebody else, maybe someone that I'm also working with, one of my teammates who may be sharing this with you, please get back to those people with any more questions you may have. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and we look forward to welcoming you here into Cash Forex Group.